Pretty amazing. So please, everyone, welcome Katerina Skroumpelou on stage. Give her a round of applause.
Hi, everyone. Let me get this thing working as I want it. Okay. So I'm using slide dev, and it's a bit, okay, I didn't have my cursor. I shouldn't have blamed Anthony. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you can use the real-time capabilities of Supabase to build online multiplayer games. Eventually, during the talk, you're all going to participate in the multiplayer game. The 3 top leaderboard winners, I guess, are going to win a Supabase cap and 2 Supabase t-shirts. Unfortunately, they're size medium. I'm sorry. And the rest, because I don't like everyone should win, the rest are just going to get cookies, chocolate chip cookies. So everyone is a winner in the end. I know that all of you ate some tiramisu. So the sugar spike unfortunately happened about 10 minutes ago. And now it's the sugar drop and you're all sleepy. So I want, for one last time, to hear your energy. You don't have to cheer for me. You can cheer for Michael, you can cheer for Eliran, you can cheer for Julian. But one last time, let me hear you like, woo, something like this, so that we all wake up. Thank you. Okay. I expected a bit more, but it's okay. We can do it later. So I'm Katerina. I'm a software engineer at Supabase. I love cats and chocolate. I love to be on stage. I'm a Google developer expert for Angular and Google Maps. However, I'm going to share something with you today. I hope it's going to stay between us. I have not written Angular code in quite some time. I always use it for my demos. I always use it for my talks. But because I don't work in client applications anymore, I work on libraries, I don't use Angular anymore. I'm very sorry. So today, however, I have built my demo with Angular, and I have used the MCPs that we have seen today, and the Supabase MCP, and it worked quite well. You can follow me on Twitter at CyberCity. You can follow me on Blue Sky at cyber.city, or you can go to my website, cyber.city. Quite easy, right? I'm going to share a little bit of my Angular Connect history as well as Michael did before. My first ever time of speaking on stage and having some international presence was Angular Connect 2017. And that really kick-started my career. This is where I met Jeff. And later on, years later, I ended up working at 10x. So it really did help me kickstart my career and be the person I am today, and it was such an exciting experience, and that's why I keep doing it for the past 8 years. I have 2 children. These are my children. It's a tuxedo one, and the other is an orange-white tabby. The tuxedo one is very protective of his brother, as you can see. And they're going to be mentally with us today. So, what is Supabase? Who here has used Supabase? Okay, and who has used Supabase before the vibe coding revolution? Okay. Supabase is the Postgres development platform. It started off advertising itself as the open source Firebase alternative. It has evolved into a whole Postgres platform. We provide a full SQL database. We help you auto-generate your APIs. It's generally built for developers. It's type-safe. It has modern tooling, full TypeScript support. As I said, we have the database. We also offer vector embeddings. We also do vector searches, so it's been used a lot in the last years for development of RAG systems. as many of you may have already used it for. This was one of the first things that I used Supabase in a large scale to build the NXAI docs assistant, for example. We offer authentication, much like Supabase does, through other providers like Google, Gmail, Slack, whatever, or Magic Links, and we also offer storage. But we also offer real-time. You can subscribe to database changes, you can subscribe to channels that broadcast messages, or you can broadcast messages to channels and the clients get them. You can track presence of users logging in, logging out. We also have edge functions, like everyone has now, which are very useful. And because we use SQL, we have row-level security built in. You can set your security rules per row. Row-level security also works as a filter as well. And yeah, you can get pretty sophisticated with it. What's nice is that we have the Supabase MCP tool. The Supabase MCP tool, I think do not quote me on that, and I don't have the link to support it, but I will just say it. I think it's one of the most used MCP tools. Maybe it's not, you can challenge me. I obviously use it a lot. If you're using Supabase, it's very helpful. I'm going to show you later a video of how it works in Warp, for example. Let me show you here. Supabase MCP. You can set it up on Cursor, on Windsurf, or whatever you're using. As I said, I used on Warp. And you just set it up like any other MCP tool. You can also add it specifically. You can have project-specific MCP so that it gets full access to a project and knows what you have inside your project, let's say. And generally, because obviously setting up RLS or creating an edge function or deploying a database or applying migrations, maybe we're not super familiar how to do these. You can do it using natural language, and natural language will call the Supabase MCP, and it will do it magically for you. Of course, always double check, and I don't have to say that since it's a database and you have like authentication data and user data and everything, always double check. But yeah, the MCP tool does make it much, much easier to get started. And I was talking with Yuri this morning, and he actually told me that Supabase MCP really helped him set up and up his building. So I was very happy about that. And I'm going to show you later a demo of it. Wait. Also, vibe coders love us. I'm a vibe coder as well, now. As I said, we integrate with Cursor, with Cloud, with Warp. You can add the MCP tool, but also we have very good integrations with Bolt.new, Lovable, and I think V0 as well, or other no-code platforms. Who here uses one of these platforms? Nobody? I don't believe you. Nobody uses Bolt.new, or you're just not paying attention. Okay. Okay, I see two people there. I'm surprised. I use it a lot for demos, and I suggest you use it too. I think it's nice. But yeah, I'm going to show a demo as well for that. You just click a button and it connects to you. You can create a new project on Supabase and connect to a database, and just with a prompt and a click, you get a full application with a backend setup as well, which for me is amazing. Apparently for you people it's not amazing, but okay. I'm not going to judge. As we said, it's a no harassment place. I'm not going to kick myself out. But yes. So let's talk about a challenge. Building real-time multiplayer is hard, or I like to call it hard. It's difficult. You have race conditions. Let's say when multiple players try to claim the same item or do the same thing at the same time. You need to keep everyone's present state in sync. You need to manage connections dropping and reconnecting. You need to work across desktop and mobile, let's say. Do it all performantly. And you need to handle a lot of concurrent connections at the same time, right? Traditional approaches would require complex WebSocket servers, Redis for state management, lots of custom infrastructure. The solution I'm going to present today, or we're going to see today, is of course, okay, we're going to use Angular signals for the state, and Supabase real-time signals gives us reactive state that automatically updates our UI when data changes. The Supabase handles all the complex real-time infrastructure. This will produce the result you're going to see in a bit. So what we're going to see is the cookie catcher game, which we are going to play in a bit. I'm not going to show you the link now, so that you don't get distracted. Let me show you actually a video of it so that you know what I'm talking about. Wait, give me a moment. Yes. Oops. So these are two instances, and you can see the other user's cursor at the same time. Right now, it's just me moving my, as I change windows, you see the other cursor, the other person's cursor. If you click on items, the items disappear, and you're going to be playing that in a bit, collecting cookies and cats. And you can also see a live leaderboard of who's winning and points getting updated. So this is what we're going to see. Let me go back. Okay. Wait. Yes. So here's how we get live updates. Supabase listens to Postgres changes through the write-ahead log and sends them over WebSockets. When a score updates in the database, we immediately update our signal, which triggers all dependent computed values, and UI updates automatically. No polling, no manual refresh needed. Let's go to the next slide, and I'll show you afterwards. Then we have presence tracking. Presence tracking shows you who's online in real time. When someone joins, everyone sees a notification. This is how we implement it. When they disconnect, even if their browser crashes, they're automatically removed from the present state. And how the animation works in this case is it's using effect. The effect automatically runs whenever the active cookie signal changes, because the way it works is that in the database, I have a cookies table, and inside this table, cookies spawn every, let's say, 10 seconds. And cookies get removed after, let's say, 1 minute. Whenever you get an update in the database and new cookies get spawned, this sends an update that there was an update in the database. And our app subscribes to these changes, and when we're getting active cookies, the effects get triggered, and the magic happens. We track which cookies have been processed to avoid reanimating the same ones, because each new cookie gets a UID. And this creates a smooth, responsive animation that you saw, and you're going to see in a bit. The animation logic is declarative. We describe what should happen when the data changes, and Angular's reactivity system handles the when and how. So again, no manual event listeners. For live cursor tracking, what we have in this game is you get mouse cursors with trails, as you saw, but because most of you are going to be playing on mobile, whenever you tap on your screen, we're going to be seeing where it's user tapped. It uses a 50 millisecond throttling for performance, and I'm having the files here because I'm going to share this slide later, and the code that you are going to be able to see. And we're using host listener, of course, to capture mouse movements, and Supabase broadcast here to broadcast the move cursor event to our channel, right? Let me see. Race conditions are challenging. One of the biggest challenges in multiplayer games. Imagine 500 people tapping the same cookie in this example simultaneously. Without proper handling, you'd get duplicate points, frustrated players. We solve this with a 3-layer approach. The edge functions provide security by running server-side, So players cannot manipulate the claiming logic. Database level atomicity is our secret weapon in PostgreSQL. It treats our conditional updates as a single indivisible operation. The cookie can only be claimed if it's unclaimed by someone else. And of course, it's not expired, because as I had before, the cookies, let's say, expire after a minute or some seconds. And this check and update happens atomically. Finally, the first step wins logic is simple. Whoever requests, whomever's request reaches the database first, he gets the cookie. Let me show you, before we go to the live thing, let me show you some videos first. Okay, here. I talked about our MCP, so I want to show you how you can use our MCP to init Supabase. So let's say here that you have an Angular repository, like a simple ng-new application. You can, let me make this. Yes. In this new application, I'm using Warp, which uses the Supabase MCP to init Supabase. Let me make this a bit faster. So it just looks into the files, etc., etc. It finds the Supabase MCP, it gets the Supabase version, and eventually it will run Supabase init, right? The Supabase init will initialize Supabase, which will create and install Supabase.js, which will install some configuration files. The next step would be, if you want to create an edge function. To create an edge function, we have the Supabase CLI, which can help you with that. And by running this, you will get a new function, the new function files, which is just a deno.json and an index.ts, which eventually is going to have some code in there and tell you how to invoke it. And it will be returning just a hello world. Then the next step would be to create a new project on the Supabase dashboard, which is, again, quite simple. You go to the Supabase dashboard, you choose a new project, a database password, which should be strong, and then you get some configuration parameters that you can add to your Angular project. You will get essentially a URL and a token that they can be public, so that you can add them to the client app. Correct. Now, once you get that that project URL, you can link it with the CLI again. Again, this project reference is public. You don't need to hide it anywhere. And eventually, you can use again the MCP to deploy. It's getting, yeah. Never mind, you can use the MCP to deploy the function. Let's go back. And once you deploy it, you can then call it, and everybody's happy. Then, again, you can use the MCP to create tables. So you can tell, wait. This is not very efficient. But yeah, you can tell the MCP what table to create. For example, I want a table called cats with this structure and that. And eventually, this will create a migration. It errored at first, but this will eventually create a migration that will create the actual table in the database. And let's see how it actually looks. I'm losing my cursor all the time. So if you were in here, for example, these are all the functions that we're using for the game that you're going to play. But also, if you would go in the table, all these tables can be created like I showed, by running a SQL query, which either the terminal can run, or you can run directly from here. Now, going back to my presentation. Wait. Now I think it's time to play so that you can see it in action. So please go to this, go here, ngdemo-sb.netlify.app, or just scan this. I'll give you 30 seconds. because I want to show what's actually happening. Has anyone not scanned it? Yes, yes. Okay, does anyone not want me to change the slide? Okay, I'm changing the slide. Nope. Where am I? Okay, here. So right now, let me just refresh this. I should need to. So if I click Start Game, and let's say spawn 100 cookies. It's taking some time. This is the internet, by the way. It's not a Supabase being slow. Does anyone see anything? Okay, I'll join from my phone, but I really wish it would join here. No. Why is it not loading? Is the internet that bad, you think? No. I think eventually I'll ask you to join my hotspot. I'm not leaving until this loads, just so you know. Yeah, ideally this would have loaded and you would be seeing cookies raining. No, it doesn't want to load. Did it load for anyone? Okay, okay. But ideally, I would want it to load here. I don't know who I should blame. Should I blame Netlify, the Wi-Fi, or I don't know. Is it loading for anyone? Ah, okay, okay, okay. So it's just my laptop that is not... Okay, finally, I see some updates here. Start playing. But I want to show this as well so that you can see the presence. Oh. No. Okay, I'll give it 30 more seconds. Anyway, I don't know why it's not performance. But yes. We're not seeing any live updates, but anyway. 10 more seconds I will give it. Okay, time is up for this. I'll let you play a little bit more. Okay. Let's call it, okay. So, performance at scale, which we did not see today, unfortunately, so this slide is moot. But I don't think it was Supabase's fault, really. I think it was the internet. But ideally, 250,000 users is our benchmark. Yeah. Now it's, I don't know. Yeah, it definitely wants Supabase in any case. Yeah, I talked about row-level security. Of course, whenever you create a database, enable row-level security because, as I showed you before, your Supabase URL and your Supabase token like the service role key, will be public, like the unknown service role key. So since these are public and are accessible through the client, much like the Firebase API key, you need to set security rules, role-level security, just to be safe. I have not set them for this application, and I'm going to shut down the project after we finish, so I feel okay about it, but yeah. Cross-platform magic. It works across different devices, real-time updates, etc., which we didn't see. You get good developer experience, ideally. You get type safety for real-time development. Supabase generates TypeScript types from your database schema. It gives you full type safety. Your IDE knows about every table, column, and relationship. The architecture of this application is simple and powerful, let's say. It uses Angular for reactive user interface and Supabase for the real-time backend. Production-ready performance, which we didn't see. And why Angular and Supabase works, reactive, blah, blah, blah. So what can you build with these features that the Supabase real-time offers? Of course, you can build chat applications. We have a few examples on our docs. We don't have many Angular examples. I know at least one person from here has contributed some docs and examples, and I'm going to be reviewing their PR soon. You can have collaborative dashboards, document editing like Google Docs, live tracking. So you can build pretty much anything that needs real-time connection, right? Thank you very much. Please, let's try to use this again at one time. You can have the code on my GitHub. I will leave this slide a couple of minutes. And before I go on stage, we're going to take a look at the leaderboard one last time to see who won the swag. So I'll give you 10 more seconds to take a picture of this if you want. OK. And where is it? Here. I shouldn't need to refresh, but I will refresh regardless. OK, who are these three? Who is Angular Ace? Nobody? OK, I will pick at random 3 people if nobody claims these usernames. And I will pick my best friends. OK, I will give the gifts afterwards to my best friends, but it's very sad that you don't want to claim the gifts that you won, whoever won them. I don't know why. OK, so I guess see you next time. Thank you very much.